Okay, so I understand part of the problem. She's explained part of the problem. She says that I can't say she's lying if she tells people I've murdered somebody because she has court documents that say that I murdered somebody. But I don't know where she could have gotten court documents that say that because I have never had a murder trial. I have never had a trial for anything. So there can't possibly be court documents stating Mary Barone murdered a woman because I was never tried for murder. There would definitely be a trial if I was charged with that. I was not charged with murder. That never happened. You do not have court documents of a trial where I was charged with murder. You have court documents of a trial where I testified against somebody else who was charged with murder. That is not a murder charge against me. It's not even an allegation against me. You are lying when you tell people that I murdered somebody and that you have legally proven that I murdered somebody, because if you had done that, I would be in prison. Point blank, period. If you had proved in a court of law that I murdered somebody in 2009, I would be in prison and not sitting in a Section 8 apartment in California, smoking illegal weed and being abused by you. I would be in prison. I would be the same place the man who was convicted of the murder is at right now. I would not be free. I would not be walking around without even having a criminal record. She is lying. So she's saying, but the after the murder, that they have what you did after the murder. Okay. That's not murder. What happens after a murder is literally what happens after a murder. It is not a murder itself. It's a completely different crime. So what they have me saying that I did after, they have me saying that he took me into the house and I went numb. I went blank. I saw her face and I saw her dead and I just stopped moving of my own volition, and he filled the sink with hot water and he moved me over to the sink physically and shoved my hands down into the hot water and started putting things in the water and telling me to wash them, and I just stood there vacant. And then he moved me over to the couch and I just sat there vacant, and then I have a couple of days of blackouts where I don't remember doing anything. They say that I was going to the library and things, but I don't have any memory of any of this. But none of that equals a murder charge for me. If it did, then they would have charged me with that back then. So she needs to be more specific in her accusation, I guess, because she's specifically telling people I murdered somebody and that she has the legal documentation of a court trial where I murdered somebody, but she doesn't. She has legal documentation of a murder trial that I testified in against somebody else. That's a completely different statement. What I did after the murder, I was forced by him. The fact that I was there at all, I was forced by him. When we left my grandmother's, I wanted to stay at my grandmother's, and he told me he would kill my grandmother if I didn't come with him. He told me that he would kill me if I didn't come with him. From the moment that we left my grandmother's that night, I was being held captive. When the case went to trial, they only tried half of the case. There's a full other half of the trial that they never tried, where they show that he catfished me, that he threatened me, that he lied to me, that he made all these promises to me. There is an entirely separate trial for him against what he did to me that was never tried. They don't have all of the evidence because only half of the case was tried, and they keep going all full cocked on half of the case. When they actually get this reopened, because I'm sure they will, there are thousands of them and they're sending in petitions and they're phone calling when they get this case reopened, what they're going to find out is that there's a whole truckload more information that was never seen at the first trial that's going to validate everything that I've said because it's the truth. The reason the police have not come at me mad that I'm lying is because everything I've said I told them in the beginning, but it's been put into a separate file waiting for a trial that's never going to happen because I'm choosing not to pursue charges against him. They gave me that option back in 2012 that I could pursue charges against him and it would make it it would be a separate trial. I didn't want to go through a separate trial. I just wanted to do the one and be over with. I was happy enough with him being in jail. But technically there could be a second trial, but it would be what he did to me, not what I did to anybody else. The cult is lying to demonize me so that people will think that what they're doing to hurt me is acceptable behavior. They're told that they have evidence of a crime that I committed that they don't have. They're making things up. You can be reading from a legal transcript all day long, but if you're saying things that aren't actually in the documents, you're lying. You cannot tell people that you have proved I committed a murder without having a proven legal... I have not committed any murder. You cannot look my name up and find me as a registered murderer. It's simply not something that you have told the truth about. And I'm frustrated, I'm tired, and I had every right to write my book and tell my story in 2009. I had every right to have a YouTube channel and to have a life. And I had every right to maintain my innocence in a murder that I was never charged with.